Hey guys, it's been a while. Welcome back to another episode of Ecommerce Marketing Chats with myself, Charles, and the main man, Jimmy. Jimmy, how's it going, man?
Man, it's good to be back. I know you've kind of been jetting all over the world, and then another week I was too sick for the call. The listeners just would have been getting coughing down the microphone the whole call, so we called that one off this week. But yeah, it's good to be back. We both try to prioritize these calls every week. Unfortunately, the last 2 weeks hasn't worked out, but here we are. We're back at them, so I'm sure we'll have plenty to discuss on the ecom front, and we're right in the middle of Black Friday launches at the moment, so I'm sure Charles and I can give you some insights into what's happening on that front as well.
Yep, no, sounds good. Actually, before we start, Jimmy, I'm going to turn my air conditioning off because sometimes we get a little bit of a background noise and we don't want that for the recording. So yeah, we're all good to go. What's been happening, Jimmy? Sounds like you've been a busy man, mate, in terms of you had a lot of campaign work this month with Black Friday.
Yeah,
What can you share? Obviously, without going into too much, specific details. What can you share with the audience?
yeah, honestly, like for a media buyer, especially in the Google Ads space, this is by far the busiest time of the year. Basically, because everyone's got their own ad hoc kind of promotions. You're not necessarily working in your own flows and your systems. You're having to introduce additional promotions, additional campaigns. Budgets are increasing usually over this period as well. So it's a lot of like what like to call in the weeds of the business. So I've definitely been working in the weeds of the business, like getting the grunt work done, getting all the new campaigns built. So there definitely hasn't been much kind of macro level thinking in my own business. It's more been, okay, this is the most important time of the year for my clients. It's time to double down and get them the best results possible. So yeah, my goal this year is for every client to have their biggest month that they've ever had, and tracking well so far. There's one client that I don't think will hit it, and it's because they're in like the gym equipment phase, and that industry just exploded so much over COVID that it's hard to replicate even this far on now. Like to replicate those numbers where absolutely everyone in the world was buying gym equipment to use at home during those lockdown periods. So I'm I'm quietly confident that every other one of my clients should surpass their largest months ever, especially the ones that have put in the work to build the campaigns that they're now kind of reaping the benefits of, which is really cool to see. We had a launch today, and on the monthly daily averages, it's already 700% over that on launch day. So
Nice.
it's been a good start to their campaign, and it's day one, and we're not even like at the Black Friday day yet. So they're going to do extremely well too. So it's an exciting time of the year. Like, it's a lot of work. I'm really tired. I've been really run down. Long nights building campaigns, but this is what it's all for. This is where the hard work shines, and this is where if you've got a good media buyer and you're working with good people, you can see some freaking incredible results come through this time of the year when a lot of consumers have their wallets out ready to buy.
Mm. And are you finding that some are far more prepared than others? What's the kind of yeah? Is it is it
100%. So yeah, the client that launched today, they've been preparing this campaign since July. So they put months into this preparation. The launch has been phenomenal. They've done really well. And then I've got some clients that don't even tell me they have a Black Friday sale, then let me know the day before, hey Jimmy, we've got a Black Friday sale happening. Um, and I was like, cool, like, what is it? What's the sale? Like, they didn't even tell me the sale. It's just that, hey, we're
yeah?
doing a Black Friday sale tomorrow. Yeah, cool. What is it? I need to know what collections have what discounts, what products being discounted. Is it a site-wide discount, specific products? Are you using a coupon code? Are you not using a coupon code? Is it an automatically applied discount? Like, there's so much that the Google Ads person needs to know about the campaign that you're running. Um, Telling them that you're having a Black Friday sale tomorrow, Because a lot of those campaigns, some of them can take up to 24 hours just to get even approved. So if you're telling them the night before that you're running the sale, the ads aren't even probably going to be live the actual first day of your sales. So it's a just keep if you've got people, or if you've got certain people managing your things, and helping you with your media buying, just keep them in the loop with what's happening, because they can like them being in the loop actually helps you drive additional sales. So it's wasted communication if you're not communicating with anyone that has any kind of input into either media buying or sales generating activities, including SEO, email marketing, even your creative. If you're using like UGC, like letting your UGC creators know, hey, we're having a sale. If you talk about it in your next video, that'd be great. Like, get everyone on the same page. It's gone are the days where you can just put something together the day before Black Friday and hope to have a really good day. You might have a small sales spike doing that, but Black Friday isn't about small sales spikes anymore. It's about knowing your unit economics and having a sales period that can pretty much run at least half the month, and you're getting multiple spikes throughout that 2 week period. They're the brands that are doing extremely well. And when I say extremely well, I'm not just talking about the revenue, because anyone can do high revenue numbers, but some businesses actually lose money to do that, which they can do that if they know their lifetime value numbers extremely well, and if they know that they have a high return customer rate. Some companies will go all out, lose a bit of money on the front end, knowing that they're going to make it back on the back end later on. I don't recommend that for a lot of small businesses. It's businesses that are large that really know their unit economics can do that quite successfully. It's actually how they run a lot of the small businesses out of business. They can outspend them to the point where it's not profitable on the front end, and a lot of small businesses don't have anything going on the back end. So if a small business can't match you on the front end, and that's their main source of income, and they'd have to lose money to do that, it doesn't make sense for them, and it sends a lot of smaller businesses out of business. So yeah, I love the unit economics side of it this time of year. There's a lot to look at. There's a lot to take into consideration. It's not just about the revenue number that you see at the end, because there's a lot of different things that you've got to take into consideration for that revenue number. But yeah, in terms of client preparedness, yeah, I've had months in advance getting ready, and I've had people letting me know the day before that they're running a Black Friday campaign. So I've had everything in between.
Mm. Yeah, no, with a couple of the accounts that I'm working on, and from the SEO perspective, it's kind of, playing chase up and getting them to get moving, because they're already a little bit behind in terms of executed on certain strategies. So really, I guess it really depends the type of client and how prepared they are, isn't it? Really.
I think as well, like even though people are launching earlier now because of how competitive it is on the actual Black Friday day. What I would say about that though is, even myself, like, I'm just making a list of all the brands that I want to look at on Black Friday, because typically what happens is a lot of brands have like warm-up campaigns before their actual Black Friday sale, and their Black Friday sale is sometimes, bigger than any other offer, or they've got an additional offer to incentivize you more. So even though all these lead-up campaigns are doing quite well, you still need to have a strong offer on actual Black Friday. One, to remind people that, hey, this sale's on, and you might have an additional freebie, or spend X, get Y. But it's inboxes on Black Friday are going to be absolutely flooded. So it's why it's really important to have lead up campaigns, because you want to try to maximize as much revenue as you can in the lead up. But you also, like, don't screw your customers. Don't have lead up campaigns them feeling good about themselves, and then Black Friday comes and the discount is significantly better. It just pisses people off. What you can do though is, like some businesses on Black Friday, they'll have, save an additional 5% if you make a purchase through our app. So it's still the same discount, but you can get something extra if you like purchase through their mobile app that they're trying to launch, or something like that. Or today, like Black Friday only, we're giving away like this small gift, but you don't want people to, be buying on a lead up campaign with a 10% discount, and then they get to Black Friday and they see that you've got a 25% discount, especially if they've bought a lot. It just pisses people off. It's a bad user experience. So, keep that in mind too.
No, I agree. I think it doesn't look. You're gonna be pissed off, aren't you? If you bought earlier on, you got a 10% discount, and then you find out that on the actual Black Friday they're offering 30-40% discount on certain products. It's not going to do your long-term customer loyalty for that particular customer. It's not going to be a good look.
No, you're right. And I'm having an app I tried. Oh, I have to look it up, but I forget the name of the actual app, but I was trying to work out a way today. So one of my clients has got a new product range, or not a new product range. They've got a product range back that they haven't offered in months because they had issues with the supplier and that relationship soured. But anyway, they've got them back now, and I was like, okay, I want to send an email to anyone that's ever purchased this collection or product range previously. So through Klaviyo, I was like, how do I segment people that have just purchased a particular product? I couldn't work out how to do it. So if you are looking to do it, I found a workaround, which is in Shopify. You can download an app that basically tags customers based on products that they've purchased. So I downloaded this app just on a free trial. I think if I was to pay for it, it was like $8 a month. So it's not like a super expensive app, but again, it's just another app that you'll end up paying for if you want to keep these kind of things long term. But that allowed me to basically say any customer that had purchased this brand ever, tag them with had purchased this particular brand. So then I think it tagged 500 customers or so, and then I was able to import that segment into Klaviyo saying, hey, these people had actually purchased this range before, send an email to this particular segment, let them know that we've got the collection back in stock. So,
Nice.
it's a little workaround on Shopify. There may be another way to do it, but yeah, I found that. I'll message you later, Charles, with the actual app that I use, because we can put it in the show notes or something like that if people are actually interested. But
That'd be good.
good way to segment your customers out on the products that they've actually purchased, especially if you're wanting to spend like a real, I guess, targeted email to a certain group of people, especially if you've got a massive kind of client database.
Yeah, no, I think there's so much. Email's so powerful. There's so many different ways to kind of segment your audience, and I don't think most brands even touch the surface, do they, when it comes to email marketing?
No, not
that
at all.
sounds like
We've
really
been doing
useful.
it for We've been doing it for years, and we're still learning new stuff on it every day. And we're still e-commerce. I think we'll talk about this a bit. We were going to talk about it when we had a chat last week, but the chat didn't end up happening. E-commerce is a game where you constantly need to be evolving. It's I heard something from a client the other week that just really annoyed me. Like they were trying to increase their main kind of I guess revenue is coming from the Google ads, and they want to increase their sales from other places, and they're just like, "Oh, Jimmy, we tried everything." Like, you haven't tried everything. I haven't seen one piece of organic content from you. You haven't tried an SEO strategy. You haven't done this. You haven't done that. Like, what have you tried that's kind of putting in your mind that you've tried everything? Because I could list off 100 things that you haven't tried. So, um,
Yeah,
it's the companies
that's,
that do really well are the ones that are always evolving. It's never a set and forget. And even when someone has a brand new website, they're like, "Oh, we've got the new website now. We can stop doing anything related." No, your website needs to be kind of almost monitored every month or every 2 months to see where you can improve your sales. That's your sales hub. It's not a, oh, the website's been redesigned. It's done now. No, that's not how it works in e-commerce. It's like
no.
we're at a new point now. It's better than the last point, but it's not finished. So, but it's like that for everything, for everything, every part of e-commerce, and um, it's very easy to see the business owners the ones that I work with, the ones that have like a growth mindset and are looking to evolve. They're the ones I like working with. But there's also, I've worked with a lot of people there where it's like, Jimmy, how do we scale? I'm like, what do you mean scale? You don't want to raise the budget. You don't want to do anything. All we can do is attempt to optimize what you're spending on the Google Ads side a little bit further, but you're not going to see a dramatic increase in sales because I already have a really locked in system that's already driving 85% of your revenue for your business already. So if you want to scale, raise your budget. And that's why, oh no, we can't raise our budget. This is a set budget. We have to do with it. I was like, okay, well, don't talk to me about scaling then because you're not a scale account. You're an optimize account. We've got to optimize what you have, which, isn't scaling. You may see an increase in sales, but it's definitely not like a scaling account. It can get frustrating, but I'm super patient with all my clients. But if you start asking me the same thing 10 times, that's when I kind of get a bit more blunt. Like, okay, we've had
Yeah,
this conversation 10 times now. Like, what part of it am I not communicating clearly? Like, what, you know?
yeah.
Um, and
It's,
I'm
it's
I'm really reasonable and like I love helping my clients as much as possible, but if you're booking calls with me all the time and it's the same conversation, that's when I start to get frustrated.
Yeah, it's funny actually, Jimmy. I read a post on Facebook today about the fact that, obviously with what you do and many other Google ad agencies, you do get great results. The worry I see with a lot of e-commerce brands is they rely very heavily on ads. And, I was saying that like, we get some brands that will moan about the cost of ads or that their ad account keeps getting blocked or banned. And then they spend years putting off running an organic SEO campaign alongside it to actually diversify their channels. Because like you just mentioned with that one client, if you're bringing in 85% of their revenue from one channel, you are,
Yeah,
in my
I've said
opinion,
that. I've said it to them
overexposed.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I said the same thing to them as well. I was like, you guys aren't spending anything anywhere else. You're not doing any organic. And you're right. So, especially in this day and age with the TikTok age emerging, like I find kind of two main businesses, and then you've got like the unicorns. So you've got the ones that are driving majority of the sales of paid ads, or you've got the businesses that are driving the majority of their sales off organic social media through like TikTok videos, YouTube shorts, those kind of things. Like those brands, if you can drive it off social, it's obviously a hell of a lot cheaper, but you need to grow an audience. So if you're spending a lot on ads, it's because you don't have the audience to sell to. You're buying the exposure to that audience. Whereas if, like a lot of great brands have been uh, almost started from TikTok.
Mm.
And they're really good at storytelling, really good at telling you the background of the business, really good at getting you invested and involved. And basically, you're purchasing from the person almost more so than the business. And I think as they grow, they definitely incorporate ads. But I think starting out, brands, they need traffic. So the end goal is traffic. Doesn't matter where it comes from. It could be SEO, it could be paid, it can be social, organic social media. The thing is, how do they get a lot of traffic? So it can be really hard to get a lot of traffic early on SEO if you're starting out. You can get a lot of traffic from TikTok if you get a viral video. If you get one video that goes viral, that can send thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to a website. In terms of being cost effective, I would say that's probably the most cost effective place to be, but it can be the most difficult. Like, you might be making videos for months and never get a viral video. So yeah, there's a payoff. So I think paid ads, especially on the Google side, is probably the most predictable in terms of you spend this, you're probably looking to get back in this ballpark, based on previous numbers. But yeah, I mean, I'm using the Google Search Console a hell of a lot more than I ever have. So, because the organic is playing a much bigger part in my strategy, not so much creating organic content. It's like, okay, I'm getting really good ideas for like product titles or optimizing actual paid ad product descriptions through the Search Console. But I'm also getting good ideas to recommend to clients about creating new collections on their website and how they bundle products. So that Google Search Console, I would say probably the last 50 brands that I've looked at, I think 3 of them were using the Google Search Console. So it's massively underused.
Yeah, I often have to set up Google Search Console for new clients. So yeah, I can certainly believe that. They usually have Google Analytics set up, but Google Search Console is usually kind of an afterthought. Yeah, it's certainly an interesting one.
Yeah, back on that, just on that topic again about, people that have tried everything. This e-commerce game, the people that are going to do well and that do well, they go all in and they make sure they cover. The best brands have covered everything. I'll look at a brand doing really well and think, wow, they've got a really good SEO strategy. They've got a really good paid marketing strategy. They've got amazing organic content. Their website is built to convert. You can tell the brands that just get it, because you go on there and you're like, all right, their omni-channel approach is phenomenal.
Yeah, the speed of execution, I think, is a huge one as well. But I mean, for example, recently I did kind of what we call a kind of an SEO foundation sprint. So we'll kind of come in, we'll optimize a set amount of key pages on a client's website, and I gave them, as part of that, I give them a kind of user experience, like website review. So there was a list of recommendations, and one thing that I was impressed about with this client was I gave her the list on a Friday, and by I think Monday, Tuesday, she'd executed all of them. I'd gone onto her website and she'd made all of those changes herself. Whereas another client, it could take them 6 to 8 months. They may not even take the suggestions on board and make any execution on them. So I think that certainly separates the kind of the amateurs from the professionals in terms of the ones that are really going to succeed at this game.
I agree, and it could be 2 companies selling the same product, and it's not the product that's going to win out, it's the business owner that's going to execute, basically. It's not always about the product, it's about how it's presented and every other omni-channel approach working together. And if you're selling a product and you're relying only on Google Ads and you're going up against someone that's got Google Ads, organic social, SEO, Meta ads, they're running TikTok, they've got YouTube ads. Sorry, but you're going to get crushed by that competitor eventually.
Yeah, yeah. You're not going to be able to compete for sure. It's just a volume game at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I really want to start my own store because the thing with e-commerce is, and this is what business owners are good at. Like you and I are good at the marketing side of it. I love the marketing side of it. They've got the business, they handle the logistics, the delivery, the 3PLs, the stock levels, the ordering of the stock. That's the stuff that I cannot stand. And because you're probably the same, Charles. I get asked this a lot. Oh, Jimmy, like you're growing all these ecom businesses. Why don't you start your own? It's like because I hate the
Yeah.
logistics side. The logistics side is like not my idea of fun time. So I think if I did get into e-commerce, it would be kind of a print on demand where I didn't have to handle stock and inventory. But it would be more the I don't want to do drop shipping. Drop shipping is I want some creative input to it, so which is why print on demand you can kind of create your own things and then just put them on other people's products, um, which is kind of it is appealing to me. So it is something that I am considering testing next year, but also using it as learnings for the group. And having some skin in the game in on the ecom front too, because yeah, a lot of what I do is spending other people's money. So it'd be nice to put my own money in the game and create a little e-commerce site as well.
Yeah, and it's only going to help you better relate to your clients and better understand certain aspects of maybe the business side that you weren't aware of. So yeah, I think it's only a win-win. Um, any idea? Oh, obviously, probably not worth share. You really don't want to be sharing any ideas on what you're going to do. But have you got some ideas of what products you'd like to potentially go into, what industries?
Yeah, I've got a couple ideas.
Yeah.
I can tell people now, like not the actual products, but kind of what I'm looking at. I'm kind of looking in the memory space. Having two kids at the moment, like I want to create products that, um, or design products, I should say, that you know myself and my kids could wear, or like little mementos, whether it's in the jewelry space or things like that. But yeah, I want to involve my kids, and I want the products to mean something to me, like something I'd be proud to wear, and something that kind of gave me a little bit of a every time I saw it, just a memory of my kids, or yeah, it's kind of the lines that I'm thinking of anyway. So
Nice.
um, yeah, that's kind of if I do get into it next year. I've already got the domain name, which I won't be sharing. But if I get into that, yeah, I'll that's kind of the lines that I think I would be going down.
Nice. Nice. No, it's yeah, I think there's certainly money in those like little niches, isn't there? You just got to find. There's
Yeah,
so many
and
businesses
it's
like
not
that.
even about like making mega bucks for me. It's more about having cool products that I can share with my kids. Really, it's probably a self-interest type thing, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of, especially parents, will be able to kind of resonate with some of the products, and yeah, that's kind of what I'd be aiming for, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if something eventuates in that space, but um, yeah. Well, if there's anyone listening that has a decent business and wants an equity partner on the marketing side, those kind of opportunities I'm looking to explore next year as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that's another route, isn't it? Is to you effectively just handle the marketing side of things and then let a business partner focus on the logistics and their
Yeah, those
strengths.
ones always get a bit more. Um, they're like Shark Tank arrangements, honestly. So if you ever watch Shark Tank, it's um, except I'd kind of Shark Tank when you go on Shark Tank and they make an equity offer. Usually, they have teams that will help that. Like I don't want a passive investment at the moment. I'm looking for something that I can get in actively and help grow. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's another option potentially for next year as well. But I think I think after Black Friday and the Cyber Monday sales, a lot of my thoughts will start to transfer to next year. So I start planning for 2025. I usually start those notepad journals on the 1st of December. So I'm planning the whole of December so I can hit 2025 or the next year whenever you're listening to this. So I can hit that year running. Something that I've done for a lot of years now. I don't like planning the day before. It's like, okay, what do I actually want to achieve next year and what does it look like and how can we make it happen? So yeah, I think for e-commerce owners that's important too. If you go into the year blind, before you know it, it's April, May, and you're like, oh geez, where'd that first 3 months go? So yeah, it's January is an interesting month because it kind of it really separates the ones that, are on holidays and the ones that are like, okay, this is prime time now. Like everyone's sleeping, basically. Like, what can we do in this kind of first couple of weeks? So, yeah, it's an interesting time at the start of the year always. But yeah, got some clients that sell a lot of products for the New Year's. So yeah, it's all systems go for them, and they smash it. Whereas a lot of bigger businesses aren't even coming back into the office till like the 6th or 7th of January usually.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's particular. I know when I worked more with service-based businesses, it was like they'd break up on the 1st of December and then they'd be back by the 15th of January if you're lucky. Whereas, I don't know, I'm not sure, with ecom, I think there's still sales going on throughout.
Oh yeah,
Certainly with a
they don't
decent,
shut down their website. It's they may have a banner just saying, a lot of businesses let their customers know when the guaranteed delivery date cutoff date is before Christmas because a lot of people are buying as Christmas gifts. So if you are in the e-commerce space, have a good think about when's the last actual date that we could post something off and get it out to them before Christmas. Well, in Australia, you kind of have to go by Australia Post's estimations. So even if you have your best intentions, it still might not get there before Christmas. So
yeah, it's the same with the
yeah,
UK.
yeah,
I'd imagine it's, all over the place. US is probably similar as well. It's different country, same problems.
yeah. No, things are improving a bit on the delivery side. I think over here. Obviously, they're doing a hell of a lot more volume. But yeah, there's a lot of 3PL companies popping up, which I think is helping take the load off. Because Australia Post are able to pick things up in bulk volume from these 3PLs. So, people who don't know what a 3PL is, it's just like a third party logistics company. So, you can contact a 3PL and arrange for them to basically warehouse all your stock and they handle the delivery every time you get an order in. So yeah, it's not something I have a hell of a lot of experience in. Obviously, the whole conversation before was I hate logistics, so it's not something I like to get involved in. But it is an option if you're still shipping out of your home or something like that, and you're looking for an alternative. Like a 3PL is where you might go. Amazon's a big one too. It's called Fulfilled by Amazon. You can basically drop all your stock to Amazon. The only problem is if you don't have good sales numbers and the stock sits there, they can start to charge you like a warehousing fee. So you'd want to use a 3PL if you're really able to move some stock.
I did not know that. That was, yeah. That's something that's new to me. I've never heard of that before. So yeah,
Yeah, well, we're both in the marketing world, so we don't have to get too involved
yeah,
in the world of logistics and delivery and 3PLs and
yeah,
but
that's true.
but yeah, it's interesting to know. And if you are speaking to business owners, you can always ask them, how they're managing delivery, and yeah, it's an interesting conversation, but still one that I never want to get involved with.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Sounds good.
Another thing
Um,
we were chatting about the other day, Charles. I mean, um, this is a bit of a somber note, but Charles and I both lost members of our families, I guess, over the last. Well, Charles more recently. Mine was about 2 months ago. But when an event like that happens, you kind of really get to thinking, what am I doing this all for? And I think a lot of owners need to sit down and actually have that discussion with themselves, like, hey, where are we going with this, and what do we actually want to achieve? Too many of them are flying on autopilot at the moment. It's just the same thing day in, day out. It's like, if that's their end goal, hey, let's just maintain this for the next 10 years, cool. But um, the ones that have higher ambitions, if you kind of feel that you're in that, I guess, that autopilot phase, start consuming new resources. Start talking to different people that are doing different things. Start seeing if there's AI that you can integrate into your business to streamline processes. Start making everything more efficient. Start making everything more profitable. Start selling more stuff. And yeah, set your goals a lot higher. I reckon there's so many business owners there that if they just had a little bit of help, and understood just a little bit more in the e-commerce space, could easily double their yearly revenue, like,
mm.
easily.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, like I said, yeah, time goes quickly. Life can be short. So, if you've got those dreams and aspirations, then, yeah, you need to act on them, and you need to put a plan in place to aim to achieve them. Because years can go on and you could feel like you're in the same position, and that's fine if you want to be, if you don't mind being there. But a lot of people that probably are listening to this don't want to be stagnant. They want to be progressing and moving forward.
One
um
of one of the things that popped to mind straight away, Charles, is, we've spoken about this before, but that client that you had where you had, like 20 articles sitting waiting to be approved. I mean, if you're paying someone to do SEO for you and put articles together, and you've got 20 of them waiting in review and they've been there for 8 to 10 months, that doesn't scream growth mindset to me. That screams like they've got no idea what's happening, they've lost control of their business, they've got no drive or direction. Like, that's what it screams to me. That those articles could have potentially been, by the time after that 8 to 10 months, they had been done straight away, they could have potentially been bringing in, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
yeah.
It's just been sitting there in limbo. It's like, and it comes back to your point before, Charles, about speed of execution. You're right. The businesses that just jump in and get it done always do so much better. It's and then you've got the business owners that do sign up for a lot of courses. They pay for all these courses and then they never watch one of them. Like, what's the point? I'm very big on, if you pay for a course, finish it before you go on to the next one. Unless you're halfway through it and you think, no, this is relevant to me, and I've watched half of it and I really haven't got any value from it, then cut it loose. But I think a lot of people go in with lofty ambitions, and actually a funny story. So business coach that Charles and I both have. Um, I'm about halfway through all his content, and I messaged him the other day. I'm like, God, man, I've watched like 20, 30 hours of your coaching stuff this month. How do people get through this stuff? And he said, oh, do you want me to let you in on a secret? I was like, yeah. And mind you, I'd only been involved in the course for like 4 weeks. He said to me, you're the furthest progressed out of anyone that's ever signed up for the course. I was like, what? I'm not even halfway through yet. He's like, I know.
Well, yeah, I think they say, don't they? Like, it's like 10% of people complete, on average, complete courses, and that course content in particular is quite there's quite a lot of content, isn't there, in that?
Yeah.
So that's more than the average. So I would imagine completion rate is
And
yeah.
don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of it. I've definitely bought a couple of courses that I've never even opened. But yeah, there's if you're buying a course for a really specific reason, or especially in the e-commerce space, if you're like, hey, I need to improve in this, and I've actually got a course just like that I purchased. I do have a planned start date to go through it though. It's a video related course, so it teaches you how to create kind of effective videos for e-commerce stores. But it's something that I want my clients to improve on. So I'm like, okay, I need to dive into this myself and get a bit of knowledge across it before I start advising clients how they should be approaching their product videos. And then at least if I've done it and I can give examples and show them what works, it's another kind of another bow in my quiver type thing. So yeah, but it's just so many people that go in with good intentions that just never follow through. So if and a lot of people listening to this now have already missed the boat on Black Friday, and if that's you, I would recommend seeing what stores you actually buy from, what campaigns brought you in to buy their products, what email campaigns you really like. Start documenting some of the tactics that other companies are using on you that you're actually really enjoying, or you thought that was a good idea, or hey, I really love this sale where if I spend this, I get this. Like, start documenting those so come next year, you've got a list of like 15 ideas that you can choose from. And start planning it a couple months out, and you'll be ahead of 95% of other e-commerce businesses if you just do that.
Yeah, and that's a really good idea, Jimmy. Really good idea. Like I said, I thought, you've probably missed the boat right now, but actually analyzing where you're buying your own, purchases from, and then reverse engineering that, I think is a great strategy.
Yeah, it just gives you something else to think about rather than just dwelling on how you blew this Black Friday, which a lot of people would have, including my own clients. Like, you can only email them so much, and if they don't want to do Black Friday, that's fine. The thing is, I've got some clients that don't want to do Black Friday, but they've got like a 15% welcome email. So, like, why can't you just rework this? I know you already send out discounts. Just rework the messaging for Black Friday so you can cash in on that traffic, and at least send a promotion out to your customers or new customers that you're actually running something. So too many brands are worried that they're going to be seen as a discount brand, which is, for Black Friday these days, is crazy to me. So it doesn't have to be a discount either. It can be, spend X and hey, get this free little gift. So too many people write it off before they've even tried it or before they've even seen how much revenue it can generate for their business. So there's not a hell of a lot you can do when business owners are in that mindset. But at the end of the day, it's less work for me if they don't want to run a Black Friday sale. But honestly, I would prefer to get them the results. So I kind of try to push them to do the Black Friday sales.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's the same with me. You can only, like you said, you can only message him so much, and kind of chase them up if they're not. You would think they'd be more proactive because it obviously impacts their revenue. But this is life.
Yeah.
Such is life,
Talking, let's change it up a bit. I was just going to ask you this off call, Charles, but I may as well just ask you on call. What offers are you running in the SEO space right now?
So
I've seen a couple, but what's kind of, and probably some people listening might be interested too. So I thought I may as well just ask it now. But yeah, what are you running at the moment?
Yeah, so the main something that I'm actually working on with an AI engineer that you know as well
Yep.
is we're building out an SEO tool to help automate some of the what they call the on-page SEO. So basically optimizing key elements on your e-commerce pages, your collection, and your product pages. And we're actually looking for beta testers. So if you are an e-commerce store, or even if you're an agency that has e-commerce clients and you want to be able to automate uh, writing your SEO titles, your meta descriptions, collection descriptions, and your product descriptions, that's probably the main four that we're going to be focusing on and rolling out this SEO tool. It's going to be in the format initially of a Google Sheet, but if we can get enough interest and we can get some feedback from those beta testers, then we will probably look to build out a Shopify app over time. Yeah, based on the interest. So, and
Yeah,
if there's anything that people are listening to and they're like, okay, could you potentially automate that? I'm open to kind of any feedback and thoughts on that. But
yeah,
we want
nice.
to,
So you already know I've got one client that would be happy to test that out. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, if you need something or something to test on, let me know. But no, that's cool. What about with the SEO consulting space? Are you taking on
Yeah, so
people
I've
on that
I've
at the
got
moment?
yeah, still taking on a couple of clients there. So I've got the SEO advisory service, which is more of a kind of working with me one to one on a consultancy basis over the course of 6 months and building
Yep.
out a strategy and working with you so that you can go off and execute. I have also introduced recently. I just finished some work. It was like an SEO foundation sprint. So me and someone on my team will go in and basically optimize a certain amount of core pages on your site. We'll do a bit of an audit. We'll basically what I call lay the foundation. So we want to make sure that all your pages are properly optimized. We do the necessary keyword research so you're targeting the right keywords. This is one mistake that I see a lot of brands make is they don't really have a clear process on how to do keyword research, and in turn they're often targeting the wrong types of keywords, or
Hmm.
they've just not optimized their pages at all. So I actually just completed one for an art business that sells kind of art prints and original art online. And actually, we've already seen it just shows with SEO. Yes, for SEO to have a direct impact on your sales. It does take time, but we've seen literally we would optimized a set amount of pages, and within literally a matter of a few days, we're already ranking for keywords that they weren't previously ranking for at all, and some of which are already on the first page of Google. So it just shows that um, you know, you can get some quick wins with SEO. The key is to get started. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing with a lot of brands is they just put it off for too long, and then every year rolls on, um, and yeah, they kind of neglect it. I even had a conversation with a potential client the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, I know I've been putting off SEO for a number of years, but it's kind of time that I get started with it." So. Um, yeah, those are kind of the couple of offers that I'm running at the moment. And then if you want to work with me and my team on a kind of more custom month to month bespoke offer, um, that's more for brands that are doing like minimum kind of 50K a month upwards in terms
Yeah.
of US dollars. So there's a few different options to kind of work with different brands at different levels.
Yeah, nice.
What about yourself, Jimmy? What's your kind of? I mean, I know that you are you taking on any more one-to-one clients at the moment, or are you at kind of capacity now? I know.
No, definitely not capacity. I don't think I'd ever let myself get to capacity either, just on kind of the lifestyle that I like to live. But I'm always looking for e-commerce stores that have over 100 products. So that's kind of my specialty. I like to work with larger data sets. So yeah, any e-commerce store that has over 100 products, I can analyze and see whether we can get a win-win out of your situation. So I think they're definitely the brands that I like talking to. It can be any level. I work with brands that are spending 3,000 a month all the way up to well, at the moment probably the last is like 100,000 a month. But I have worked previously with a brand spending 330,000 a month. So I've worked on some large budget, high SKU campaigns. At the moment, the client with the largest amount of SKUs that I work with is about 43,000 products. So, yeah, I like working with large data sets, and if people want to have a chat and see how I can help them, yeah, I think like the first step that I always do is for people with e-commerce stores with large product sets. What I usually find is I go into their account, they've got one Performance Max campaign. It's like, okay, let's analyze this and find out kind of what percentage of products is bringing in what percentage of revenue. Because I think a lot of business owners are shocked to find that like their top 5% of products are actually bringing in like 90% of the revenue, and then but only a really small portion, maybe like 10% of the budget is actually going towards those products. So it's a pretty easy win if you know that, hey, this group of 5% of the products is bringing in a huge amount of the revenue, but only 10% of the budget is going there. It's a really quick win to redistribute like a much larger proportion of that budget to products that are actually bringing you in a significant amount of revenue, and reducing the budget on a lot of products that aren't. So, I mean, that's kind of where I've built out a lot of systems to be able to analyze this quickly and make those changes for businesses quite quickly. But it's why I'm quite confident when I go into an account. I'm like, yeah, this is a perfect account for my system. It's going to get much better results. It's going to reduce the spend. We can tidy up their tracking, tidy up their settings, and we can actually turn this into a really good account on Google Ads. So, yeah, I think I will be helping. So I will be helping businesses under the 10K mark next year, but that'll be more in a one-to-many capacity. I will be launching kind of some paid coaching resources to
Nice.
help. Obviously, I can't help. I can't have like one-on-one calls with a heap of businesses under that 10K mark, but I really want to stop them getting screwed by large agencies and actually give them the foundations that they need to know to be able to. And that's what this chat's for. Like, sure, some higher end e-commerce stores could be listening, but a lot of them are, I guess, smaller businesses that are wanting to figure out where to grow and what they need to do. So, yeah, I want to create a one-to-many type product where I can create the resources for them once, and as many people they want can watch it, and then potentially I'd have like a 2-week coaching call where these guys could ask as many questions as they want, and run it like that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes too. But yeah, I'm always happy to talk to any business with over 100 products. If they've got 1,000, that's even better. But yeah, set the bar at minimum at 100 products.
Nice. Yeah, excited to hear about your potentially helping the smaller brands as well with that kind of one-to-many program. Or
It's a hard space. Like I've been in it before, and I don't want to create like super technical resources, because the thing is, if one thing changes on that platform, then I have to refilm everything, and it becomes something that I hate more than like, hey, I actually really enjoy doing this. So I need to find the balance of creating like macro level content, but still having the technical aspects in there without it becoming like a chore. That's the challenge for me in creating these resources for these businesses. So, because say if the Google Ads platform changes 3 times in 3 months, and I'd have to refilm every video that I did for like the Google Ads platform, it's like that would drive me nuts, and I wouldn't enjoy it. So I need to think about how I structure the resources better, so it's not super technical implementation, but more when I'm going through it, teaching people how I'm actually thinking about it when I'm making those decisions, so they're not just having to follow like a click by click technical instruction. It's like, hey, this is why we're doing this and why. So if something does change, they've got the mindset and the knowledge to be able to pivot with those platform changes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, perfect sense. Yeah, you've got to understand the reasons why you're
Yeah,
selecting
I
those
think that'll probably be
settings or
it'll be a
yeah.
more useful resource as well, and it'll be much more evergreen. Obviously, there still will be strategies where I'll need to update the technical implementation of things, but yeah, that's my plan anyway. So we'll see if it eventuates or not. Next year's going to be interesting. Already, I've floated a couple ideas: potential e-commerce store, more coaching, more clients. So yeah, I just want to jump full into the e-commerce space next year and see where it takes me, the relationships I build. Again, if someone is looking for an equity partner in an e-com business, let me know, because I'm interested in exploring those options too. Especially if your strengths are in logistics and not in marketing. I don't want to partner with someone that's got an e-commerce business and they're already like marketing is their specialty. So, um, yeah, that's kind of where that's sitting for next year. But yeah, I think we've given people enough to. I think even this call, it's not apart from the app that I used for tagging customers that fed into Klaviyo. It's been more of a macro chat today in terms of what we've been implementing. But yeah, with Black Friday, just pretty much halfway through Black Friday, I think that's probably a good place to leave it, because there's not a whole bunch of technical implementation you should be doing right before that Black Friday sale. I think Charles has just cut out. It's probably a good time just to Charles has cut out. So yeah, well we're almost at the hour mark anyway, so I think I think we'll probably leave it there, guys. If you've got any questions, like always, join the e-commerce marketing community. Grow your Shopify sales on Facebook. You'll be able to find us on there. Still a really tight community at the moment. I think there's only about 40 members in there. So if you've got any questions, you will get them answered by either myself or Charles. But yeah, until next week, I'll catch you guys then. Thanks, guys. Take care.